Thank you for joining this training tape in regards to the GPYFL Football League, which stands for Great Plains Youth Football League. The intent of this training tape is to get officials, coaches, players, and fans the expectations, the standards, and the league-specific rules to improve on communication and consistency from the beginning of the season through the end of the season. In this training tape, we're going to cover where can we view game schedules, where can we view game rules, and then we'll go over the specific rule differences for the GPYFL. Football officials, first, this is the first 5 weeks of the season. If you have joined Premier Sports Officials as a football official, you have self-assigned, you should be able to have access to all available games for the GPYFL through Sunday, September 22nd. So the first 5 weeks have been posted and are available. And this is the screen. For whatever reason, if there's a site and a set of games you could work that do not show available, they may be filled. But if you email us, I could see if I could switch officials to another site that may have a little bit more flexibility in their schedule. The last 3 weeks, the playoffs, will come out at the conclusion of the September 22nd games. So typically Monday, September 23rd, the league will email me the playoff schedule with dates, times, and location. As you notice in this document and in Arbiter Sports, you do not see the age level that you will be working. You only see the date and the time and the location. So, Sean, I would like to know, am I working 3rd grade, 5th grade, or 7th grade? Because the rule sets are different. If you go to the website, greatplainsfootball.com, this is where you get all the league information. greatplainsfootball.com. Under more, you see game schedule. All right, you could click the 2024 game schedule, and it's through Turning Machine. So right now on my phone, I have the app for Turning Machine through Sports Engine, and the team schedules are available via the app on the phone. I know the 2024 game schedule will be available. Click here in the next few days. But it's under Turning Machine, Sports Engine, or you could go to greatplainsfootball.com, more, game schedule, and then click 2024 game schedule. And then you could compare what games, what age levels are working and playing at your site at that date and those times. The next one is rules. All right. When we go to league information, right at the top, click League News and Information, and you're going to be able to download these GPYFL rules. Each week, I will send out an email talking about situations that came up the previous week. This training video will be in each week's email for the GPYFL, as well as the attachment to this rulebook. Please save it. Please come back to it whenever you need to answer a question with a coach, with a partner, with a site administrator. Well, let's take a look at these rules. The first rule section is that we're going to take a look at is game ball and official ball. So the host team will provide game balls for the contest it hosts. Game ball must be approved by the home and visiting teams. The visiting teams have the option of using their own game ball and must have their ball ready for game officials for change of possessions. So when you meet the coaches, if a team wants to use their specific ball, they're allowed to. But it's their responsibility to have a player, sometimes it's the snapper, sometimes it's the quarterback, to bring in that ball to the officiating crew when their series begins. Officials, when you go and meet the coaches, meet the home team coach first, ask them for a game ball, bring it to the visiting coach, and ask them, do you want to use the same ball or do you want to interchange your game ball? depending on that answer, just then give them guidance of the best way to bring in the new ball if they want to switch. Again, I believe the best way is have the snapper bring in the new game ball to the officiating crew. So far, we have 3 officials assigned to all games in the first week. It says a minimum of 2 officials. We as an association will do everything possible not to have 2 officials on a game. We believe it's imperative for safety and the development and growth and education to have 3 officials there. If you're watching this video and you're not currently a football official and would love to become a football official, please contact us at psoa@premiersportsofficials.com. That is our email address. I can send you all the information of how to join Team PSOA, how to get the team required uniform and equipment, and then get you access to our education practices that we've been doing since the beginning of August. The next one is general heat guidelines. In the state of Nebraska, it's been beautiful weather here in August, and I'm sure we're going to deal with high temperatures in the future. For game days, games are going to be allowed to be played when it's 110 degrees and below. 110 degrees and above, there will be no games and no outdoor activity. Officials, anything 90 degrees and above, it is allowable to wear black officiating shorts. All right, we want to still stay in team uniform and look like the rest of our teammates. Please have those shorts be black. They could have a logo on it such as PSOA, Nike, Adidas, but 90 and above, officials, you can wear shorts. With that being said, 90 and above, we should be using those water breaks. So halfway through the first quarter, halfway through the second quarter, halfway through the third, halfway through the fourth, it could be after a change of possession, after a score, have an extended break to allow players to have that 2-minute break. Coaches, when we give players that extended water break during games, that first minute, there's no coaching. It is water only to every single player. And then you have your 10-minute intermission at halftime. Again, we will give an additional 4 minutes for water only during the game when it's 90 degrees and above. Use your discretion. If we need to extend it because players didn't get enough water, if we need to add another water break, give another water break. The GPYFL does allow 2 hours in between games, so we have this time to give extra water. If a coach calls a team timeout, extend it to 2 minutes on hot days. 1 minute to get water, 1 minute to coach. All right, game rules. All games of the Great Plains Youth Football League will be played under the NSAA guidelines and the NFHS rules. We will go over the exceptions here in this training video, but where do we get access to this? Timeout with PSOA, we have live video practices by position. So we have back judge, referee, umpire. We're going to have a line of scrimmage one up by Thursday, August 15th. This is where we go over specific rules by position, such as pass interference, holding, false start, encroachment, illegal blocks. Use this YouTube channel as a tool to get an understanding of what the NFHS rules are, philosophies are, and mechanics. Another thing we do is we will put up daily shorts. So these are catch, no catch. This is going to be an example of an illegal blindside block, but we put up a short a day to help educate not only officials, but also coaches and players, so there's a consistent communication tool where we're using similar terminology to explain what is legal, what is illegal, what should be coached, what should not be coached. The main first rule difference is the mercy rule. For the GPYFL, once a 24-point spread between teams have been reached, the game will enter mercy rule. If a game enters this, the head game official, which will be the referee, will start the clock and let it run continuously until the end of each quarter. And all games are 10-minute quarters, and they play 4 quarters. All right, so mercy rule, 24-point mercy in the GPYFL. A team who's leading cannot do an onside kick while leading by 24 or more points. And if it's done accidentally, we give possession of the ball to the receiving team at the spot of the recovery, whether it's by the kickers or receivers. We do know sometimes a player tries to kick it deep, misses it, and it turns into an onside kick. It will be the receiving team's ball at the spot of recovery. Also, the winning team is not allowed to blitz or place more than 7 players in the free blocking zone. So the free blocking zone is 4 yards on either side of the ball and 3 yards deep on their side of the ball. All right, so a team who's winning cannot load up the box 8 players, 9 players, so the middle is clogged. And they cannot blitz those linebackers. Only the players on the line of scrimmage within the free blocking zone, which is typically 5 youth players. Striper rules. So players who weigh more than 90.1 in Pee Wee, 3rd and 4th, 125.1 junior midget, 5th and 6th, midget, 160.1 pounds. They're going to have a stripe around their helmet. So this indicates the restrictions these players have. So when it comes to interior line, center, guard, tackle, these stripers must start in the free blocking zone. They cannot start outside 4 yards of that ball at the snap. Defensive stripers, all right, must be in a 3-point or 4-point stance, and they cannot line head up any further outside than the outside shoulder of the offensive tackle. So if there's a tight end, that tight end might be in that free blocking zone, but a defensive striper cannot line up head-to-head on that tight end. They must be lined up on the outside shoulder of the tackle. Stripers are allowed to play special teams, but they cannot advance the ball. So once they get possession of the ball with a striper helmet, we're going to blow it dead because a striper cannot advance the ball in the GPYFL. All right, so what's the penalty? All right, so those are the rules. If a team is using a striper player or illegally lining up the striper, all right, we will assess a 15-yard penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. Officials, especially early in the season, let's use education, let's use preventive officiating. So we have a striper outside of the tackle. Let's go up to him. Let's push him into the middle, head-to-head over the tackle or outside that tackle offensive shoulder. And let's say, remember, as a striper, you must start inside this free blocking zone, and you must be within the outside shoulder of the tackle. Now, if you feel later in the season they're doing it to gain an advantage and you believe they're being coached to be wide, head up on the tight end, no warning is needed. All right, we've already tried to prevent, we've already educated, we talked to the player, we talked to the coach. This is an unsportsmanlike conduct if it continues to happen. And if you think it's a mockery of the game and you think they're doing it to put other players in injury positions, you can forfeit this game. I will tell you, being part of this league, I have never seen it got to this point. Once we remind players where they have to line up with a striper, they're good to go. All right, the next striper rule. There are players that have 2 stripes. So this is older players, so a 5th grader playing in the 3rd and 4th grade division because of their body weight. All right, so if they're older, but because of their body weight, they're allowed to play down, there's going to be 2 stripes on their helmet. If you have a player with 2 stripes on their helmets, they're not allowed to play running back or quarterback. Again, they're not allowed to advance the ball unless they intercept a pass, return a punt, or kickoff. These players are not required to play tackle to tackle on offense and can play tight end on offense. All right, so double striper, special teams. They can play, they can advance. They could play defense, they could intercept, they could recover fumble, and they can advance the ball. They could play tight end. They can catch and advance the ball. But they cannot play quarterback or running back with a double stripe. All right, so if you see a double stripe on the field, please be aware of their starting location, cannot be quarterback or running back. And on defense, remind yourself they can advance a turnover. Team scoring, big difference here. Field goal is worth 3 points, which is the same, but a point after kick is 2 points. Point after try, a run or pass, is 1 point. All right, so 1 point for a run or pass after a touchdown, 2 points for a kick after a touchdown. So if we have that situation, especially when a team lines up a field goal kicker and they score that field goal kick, remind the teams that it is 2 points and make sure that scoreboard is correct, that they place 2 points instead of just the 1 point after that field goal kick. All right, so now let's take a look at rule variations grade by grade. Start with the Pee-wees, 3rd and 4th grade. Coaches can start on the field. All right, one coach, one for each team, up until September 16th and 17th. All right, so September 16th, 17th, they are still allowed one coach on the field. After September 17th, the players should have a good understanding of what formations they should be in and where they should start. And that is the intent of this rule. The intent of this rule is not to give guidance of strategic decisions. It's to help the players get the plays in and out, help the players line up properly. So once a team breaks the huddle, that coach has to stay 10 yards behind their deepest player. They can help them line up, but they cannot help them match up or call out plays or do anything strategic. After the huddle, if a coach is coaching strategy, not lining up, give them a warning, hey coach, you can't do that once they break the huddle. If the coach continues to do that, say snap, and he yells out pass, or they yell out run, or they yell out go blitz, now it's an unsportsmanlike conduct. So the first one is a team warning. The second one is an unsportsmanlike conduct on the coach who's on the field. You can't ask the head coach. That coach can be removed from the field for the remainder of the contest if they keep on breaking the rule and the intent of this rule. We allow coaches on the field, 3rd and 4th grade, to help teach formations, where to line up. That is it. Again, warn the coach, unsportsmanlike conduct on the team, then you can remove that coach off the field so they do not continue to break the rule. 3rd and 4th grade punts. Number 1, there is no fake punts allowed in 3rd and 4th grade. After the 3rd down play and the offense have not achieved the line to gain, the referee will communicate with the coach, hey coach, do you want to go for it or do you want to punt? That coach has 10 seconds to declare that they want to punt. If they choose to punt, all right, teams have 2 options. They could have automatic punts, all right, so the ball will be moved 25 yards up automatically, but not any closer than the 20-yard line. So officials, if they choose a 25-yard automatic punt, once they let us know that, we're going to stop the game clock. We're going to move the ball up 25 yards, but not any closer than the 20-yard line, and it'll be the defensive team's ball, 1st down and 10 at that new spot. They could also choose to have a player punt it. If they choose to have a player punt it, they had 10 seconds to tell us. There's 30 seconds left on the play clock to then get the players legally lined up. All right, so the punter, 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Offense, 5 linemen. Defense, 5 linemen. And then they snap the ball. Once they snap the ball, they now have 10 seconds to kick the ball. Again, we don't want to allow a team to have a 40-second play clock. All right, they let us know they're going to punt it within 30 seconds. They legally snap it in that 30 seconds. And typically a punt will last a 10-second play. So we don't want a team at the end of the game to use this timing to end the game on this punt. All right, so use game management if we have to shut down the game clock because time is of the essence at the end, we could shut down the game clock, get the players lined up. Once everybody's lined up, go ahead and roll the game clock. They have the rest of the play clock to legally snap it. And then after the snap, they have 10 seconds to punt the football. Again, 3rd and 4th grade. Automatic punt, 25 yards, not more than the 20-yard line, or a punt with no rush, and that offense cannot go downfield and cover until the ball is punted. 3rd and 4th grade field goals and extra points. Once again, it is going to be the head coach to let the referee know we are going to attempt a field goal, whether it be 4th down or after a touchdown score. The offensive team will line up. The defensive team could jump up, could wave arms, could yell, scream, and do a lot of fun stuff. All right, but they cannot rush. And the offense has 10 seconds to get the ball, place the ball, kick the ball. Referee, just use a 10-second chop with your hand is probably the best way to count the 10 seconds. 3rd and 4th grade, no rush. Field goal attempt is 3 points. An extra point kick is 2 points. All right, now we're going to go an age group up. Junior midget, 5th and 6th grade. Punts. Automatic punts are not allowed at this level. They must punt the ball. There is no rush allowed, and no contact could be made until the punt occurred. No fake punts are allowed as well. All right, so same rule, no fake punts. Different rules. They have to punt the ball. It's not a choice. And they have 5 seconds after the snap to punt the football. So in 3rd and 4th grade, it's 10 seconds. In 5th and 6th grade, it is 5 seconds. No fake punts are allowed. 3rd, 4th, 5th, or 6th. No option in 5th and 6th. They must punt the ball or go for it on 4th down. And they have 5 seconds from the snap to complete the punt. If they take more than 5 seconds because it's a bad snap, referees, blow your whistle, give the stop the clock signal, and it's a turnover and downs, and it will be the defense's ball at that spot where the ball was when the 5 seconds expired. Field goal and extra points in 5th and 6th. Similar, fake extra points and field goals are not allowed in 5th and 6th grade. Kicking team must communicate to the officials. The officials will communicate to the defense. The defense is allowed to jump and wave their arms. Once again, they are not allowed to block or charge. And the offense has 3 seconds to kick the football in 5th and 6th grade. So the similar rules, no fakes. Different rules, 3 seconds to kick the ball. And in both rule sets, they cannot rush. Typically, you'll see the offense snap it, offensive linemen fall to the ground, defensive linemen stand up, jump, and wave their hands. Last age group, 7th and 8th grade, midget levels. Punts and extra points. All punts and extra points are live and will follow NFHS rules. Fakes are allowed in 7th and 8th grade. All right, so if you're working a 7th and 8th grade game, you are working a high school football game, high school football rule set when it comes to punts and field goal kicks. The last thing, deceptive plays, and this is an NFHS rule. Any trick play, any unfair act play or deceptive play that is intended to gain an advantage over the opponent that is not within the spirit of the rules, officials, shut it down, throw your flag. It is an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. All right, so we have some shorts out there on our YouTube channel where a receiver on a hideout play just steps onto the field late. We have 10 players. Receiver steps on a fake punt in 8th grade, and they throw a touchdown pass. We are going to kill that as fast as we notice it. We're going to throw our flag, unsportsmanlike conduct, 15 yards, remains 4th down. Another play that has been out there is the quarterback is walking to the sideline, going in motion. Coach, I have the wrong ball. Wrong ball, coach. And then boom, the snap is made to a running back and they go score a touchdown. That is illegal. Shut it down. 15-yard penalty. All right, so officials, use your best judgment. All right, trick plays are allowed. All right, Statue of Liberty, flea flicker, different unusual formations are allowed. All right, we just can't use deceptive, unfair acts to confuse the opponent. Some equipment reminders, mouthpieces. New federation rule this year, only one mouthpiece can be worn and or attached to the face mask. So you can't have one in your mouth, one dangling from your face mask. Only one mouthpiece. When it comes to knee pads must be in and they must be covering the knees. In youth football, officials, when in doubt, they do not cover the knees. Do not let them play. Right? Players, coaches, spectators. I'm sure teams and organizations have expressed the importance of being legal for player safety. If your pants are too small, you switch with the teammate or purchase new pants. Knee pads in and must cover the knees. Glasses and helmet visors. Helmet visors, so attachments to a helmet, have to be clear. Even if the doctor prescribed a tinted protection of the eye, it cannot be the visor. The reason for that is the official and coaches must see a player's eyes without moving their head. Now, glasses can be prescribed and can be tinted, because now in an injury, we could always pull off the glasses. All right, but it cannot be tinted eye shield because we can't remove the eye shield to view the eyes without moving the helmet, head, and neck area. We're going to finish this training video with unsporting behavior. Officials, if you interact or witness unsporting behavior by assistant coaches, by spectators, by players, we, within the rule book, can stop the game, find the site administrator, let them know that the individual who is showing the unsporting behavior must leave and the game will not continue until that person is removed. If you have anything beyond an unsportsmanlike conduct foul on a coach or a player in a game with unsporting behavior, you ask somebody to be removed, you ejected a player, you ejected a coach, please contact myself, please contact the GPYFL by 8 p.m. that night so we could address it as quickly as possible. Youth sports is an educational place to develop character, to develop work ethic, and to get a better understanding of that game. Unsporting behavior does not do that. Coaches, players, spectators, officials are not going to get every call right. They're not going to get every rule right. You can contact Premier Sports Officials, PSOA at premiersportsofficials.com. Any game video, any rules question, any mechanics question. We want officials to learn just as we would love players to learn how to line up, how to correctly run a route, how to tuck the football. That is the educational component. So if there are ways we could collaborate, share information, share game film to improve that, let's do that. But it's not by officials yelling at coaches, officials yelling at players, coaches, players, spectators yelling at officials. Let's work together to make it a safe, fun education environment so this youth group learns we're going to use the game of football to become better human citizens in the game of life. Thank you for taking time out to watch this training tape. As the season goes, please revisit it with these rule differences and contact PSOA anytime you can. And if you have not done so already, please visit our YouTube channel, Time Out with PSOA, and subscribe so you get the weekly training tapes, the daily shorts, and live events that we have to educate, again, not only officials, players, coaches, and spectators. Good luck to all the GPYFL teams, players, and coaches. Look forward to seeing you on the field at sites throughout the year. Until next time, officials, remember, you're only as good as your last call.